Okay, hello. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Welcome. This is Atticus, and yeah, I made a quick PowerPoint about the Red Dao village making experience that I took part in yesterday, filming with director Harvey to make his new movie Knife Maker. So I did some PowerPoints, I made some pictures and a few audio files. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about what I saw, what I experienced that day, and it was pretty fascinating. So um, we'll start with this picture right here. What you see is the before and after uh, photo of what happened. So it started as a piece of steel rebar, maybe an inch and a half thick on the right here, and it turned into that beautiful piece of Vietnamese, knife at the end. And yeah, like I said, this was created from a homemade forge and anvil, and it took the craftsman all day to complete. And yeah, we literally were there from I think maybe like 9 in the morning until about 5:30 at night, and these guys just worked tirelessly, just hammering, forging, shaping the metal, working on the handle, and sharpening the blade, and yeah, it was just it was really something cool to see. All right, let's see if it goes to the next slide here. Oh, there we go. So what you see right here is a look at behind the scenes look at director Harvey. So yeah, I was the boom operator, as I mentioned before, which is the guy who was holding the microphone. So my job was to stay out of the shot for one, but I would try to point the microphone in whatever direction that he was filming. Sometimes that I was able just to sit in the back and just kind of observe his style of how he directed. And yeah, I just think a picture shows 1,000 words, and in this one you can kind of see his setup. Um, in this picture, you see that the knife maker has recently taken out the piece of metal from the forge and is just hammering it in, just trying to shape it. I did add a little bit of audio into these PowerPoints, but since I'm just talking right now, I don't think that I'll play it. So hold on. Yes. So pretty much what I'm talking about in that clip is that I asked him how does he know when to change shots. So does he see the overall big picture of the film he's making, or does he just see in particular just little shots that he wants to see? And he said, yeah, it's a matter of seeing a big picture, but also I have an idea of the shot I want, and I'm going to try to piece these together to form the overall impression that I'm trying to make, or film that I'm trying to make. And it's a real skill to be able to do something like that. And of course he's a film school graduate, years of experience, but just watching his technique was very fascinating. Right here in this picture, of course, is my battle gear, I like to call it. So anybody who knows me knows that I love my motorcycle riding gear, especially home in America with my CBR. I have my full helmet with the sloth stickers, and my backpack with the Goomba hanging off the back, and my leather jacket. Of course, I couldn't bring that with me to Vietnam, so this is what I've adopted so far. So as in for the temperature, it's been pretty good. Like it's cold up in those mountains, and you only have like what 25% less oxygen or something like that. But yeah, it was pretty warm. I was able to stop the wind even on the motorbike. The goggles do a good job. You just can't use them at night. But yeah, so that's my battle gear. Just to kind of give you guys a look. I like the helmet, feel like an astronaut. All right, so right here we have a shot of the Red Dao. So Red Dao, when I say Red Dao, that is the tribe. And these were the knife makers. And supposedly Phil said that there was two knife makers in this town, and that it was a dying art. That not a lot of people really did this anymore. And yeah, I'm not sure if these two gentlemen were related or friends, or if they were just both, knife makers, but both were working on two different projects. The man on the left seemed to be the most experienced one. He was the one who was working the forge. He'd be doing the most of the hammer and anvil. The man on the right here in the green jacket would do the hilt. He would do a lot of the carving to attach the metal to the wood, and yeah, both were very skilled. Their names are Fu and Van Sui. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Forgive me if I am. But yeah, these guys were wonderful. It was a real treat. They invited us into their home for lunch, so it was the first Vietnamese lunch that I've had inside a family home, and we all sat around this really big table. And yeah, they served up all this amazing food. It was all homegrown, so they had every kind of vegetable, mushrooms. They had butchered a chicken, not butchered, but cooked a chicken. Um, uh, there was cucumbers and all kinds of other kind of stuff I didn't know, but and of course we had a bowl of rice, and yeah, everybody would just dig in. We had our chopsticks, and you would just dig in. So if you wanted something, you just grabbed it. And there was probably maybe 10, 12 of us sitting around this table. Four of us spoke English. Me, Hoa, five of us actually. Uh, Josh, Phil, and there was another girl. Might have been Phil's daughter. I'm not sure. I forgot to get her name. But anyways, but yeah, just being able to listen to the Vietnamese talk and how friendly they were. There was a lot of toast. They did a lot of. They had this thing called rice wine. I guess it's a really big thing out here in Vietnam. It's like a moonshine, really powerful moonshine. And I had to politely refuse it like 10, 11 different times because they kept wanting me to take shots. But yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, drinking's never really been my thing, and especially moonshine. That would probably kick me in the butt. But yeah, there was a lot of toast, and yeah, it was really cool. But this was a cool shot. This is the kind of shows you the forge that they would use. So they had this blower right here, and they would just put coal on, put the metal in. The blower would just heat it up, and then they would just take it to the anvil and start hammering away. Here is a behind the scenes photo of Phil, starting on the left. So Phil, yeah, right here, he has the really cool hat. Yeah, this guy is, like I said, several years in Vietnam, speaks Vietnamese, tour guide, knows all the locals. Really impressive guy. He's a partner with Josh, or excuse me, with Harvey. Has helped him, film a lot of his movies, and a great writer. Just a great guy. I've met him a few times, and yeah, my impression is that he's a really good guy. Really cares about the Vietnamese and about preserving, the culture and the history. Next to him is Hoa. Hoa, she speaks both English and Vietnamese, and I'm not sure her relationship with Phil, if they're maybe married or if they're just business partners or friends. But yeah, she's very friendly, very nice. It was really pleasant to speak to her, and yeah, she's a very friendly and approachable person. And then of course there is Harvey in the blue jacket right there. Yeah, so we were in between shots, and I was sitting on a rock. You can see kind of the setup right here. Here on the ground by Harvey's feet, excuse me, is the boom. So yeah, that's what I was using. That was the boom. The big microphones. And according, he told me there was like 3 different microphones that point from 3 different directions. And then the big fuzzy thing is to help muffle the wind. So yeah, I would just hold that thing and try to record whatever audio the camera was pointing in. Here is a closer look at the forge and anvil that they used. So yeah, I mean it was really DIY, do it yourself. You can't get much more creative and just make it your own than this. A pile of coal, a blower, and you can see these hammers. You can see the anvil right there at the bottom. And yeah, these gentlemen just and the pounding. You could tell that the main guy, was going deaf just from the constant pounding of the metal. I mean, even it was hurting my ears too. I had to kind of plug my ears after a while, and I'm used to it. I've shot so many guns, especially in the military when you're just you kind of get used to it. But yeah, just that constant pounding would make you go deaf. But yeah, this was the setup, and they did this right in front of their house. They were eventually or originally going to do it inside of their house, And but I guess the smoking inhalation could be a problem, and there wasn't a lot of lighting. It was very dark, so they just kind of set up right in front of their door. Here was a really cool shot. This really just kind of showed you the hard work and what it took to really make these knives. So yeah, you can see the man on the left. I mean, that's that big, heavy piece of steel, that cylinder piece of steel. He would heat it up. He'd leave it in the forge, warming up for maybe a minute, minute and a half. It would glow red, and then his partner there would just sit there with the hammer, and just boom, pound away, full strength. And yeah, you only had maybe like 30 seconds, 45 seconds where the metal is warm enough where you can actually like start to shape it. So it's a very repetitive task. It takes a long time um, and a lot of work, a lot of dedication. But yeah, these guys, they didn't stop. They had their one lunch break. Every once in a while, they would. So there's like this bamboo bong that they would smoke like tobacco in. It's very cool. I see a lot of Vietnamese do it. It's like this big long bamboo stick, and they put a little tobacco in it. So that was like the only thing. Occasionally they'd take a puff of that, and yeah, but that was the process of them, and I kept remember thinking like I hope they don't hit their toes with that hammer. But these guys have been doing it for so long that I'm sure that they're experts. They've probably made thousands of knives, and yeah, you can see Harvey there on the right, and yeah, he would go wherever it took to get the good shot. If it meant sitting in the moss, sitting in the water, sitting on a rock. Yeah, just a true professional. And yeah, so this was just one other shot here. Kind of showed you a little bit of the Red Dao. Um, I think this might have been the wife, the headdress that she wears. She had this red headdress. In the back, there was like a mother or a grandmother. There were several kids too, but they stayed out of the shot for the most part. But yeah, Phil right here and Josh, they were setting up a new shot. They would translate like, hey, we need this in this shot, or could we maybe repeat, just behind the scenes kind of stuff, what it takes to make a film. And then we would get a lot of people who were just onlookers, people who would just in the village who would be interested to see what was going on, and they would just walk up right up to Harvey or Phil and just like you see this gentleman right here, just curious, hey, what's going on? This is probably really really exciting. Like, hey, this guy's gonna be a movie star. He's showing his craft, um, and he's showing his art to potentially thousands of people around the world. So yeah, very cool. And another thing that Phil said that I thought was really interesting is that that knife making is a dying art, since a lot of people could just go out and buy it. So by this man being commissioned to build several different knives, he's making one for me too. Hopefully this inspires some of the younger kids to be like, wow, I can make money if I learn this trade. And so by doing this, Phil says that it's like preserving history. It's giving you an incentive for these skills to be passed on, which I thought was so such a great way of thinking about it. And of course, I thought it would end it with your friendly neighborhood noob and aspiring traveler. So yeah, there's me. I doing my shameless selfie. It was the mountain, the fog was behind me. I thought it was so cool, so I had to get a kind of. This was in the morning on our way to the village, so of course I had to take a quick little shot though. But yeah, yesterday was great. It was a privilege, an honor, not only just to be invited to that family's village, to their home, to witness their trade, but also from Phil and Harvey to invite me, to allow me to be part of this process. From Harvey let me be his boom operator. Uh, just learning that, stuff like that. I've always I mean, that's invaluable experience and memory making stuff right there. And I just that's the reason I came to I wanted to travel the world, was to be immersed in these kind of things, to do exactly this kind of stuff, not just sit in big cities like Hanoi and expats communities, but to be in the villages, to meet the people, and learn the different cultures, like like just to kind of really learn about myself too. By you learn more about yourself as you're learning about others, and it just really helps widen your worldview. So it was just a real privilege, and I'm really I'm really thankful that they invited me, and it's been a great week. So, all right, I think that is the